Today we're going to do a full body workout and we're going to start on our backs. The only thing that you need is a band or if you have small weights, that could also work. If you don't have any equipment, you can just go no band or weights and that will be fine also. So we're going to start on our backs. Knees will be bent, feet flat on the ground. And we'll just start with our pelvic tilts. So you'll take an inhale as you exhale, imprinting your lower back towards the mat, lengthening. And then inhale, letting your tailbone be heavy, finding your neutral spine. Just moving through this a few times, initiating that scoop from your pelvis, using your core to imprint your lower back towards the mat. Feet are light, shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. Inhaling to find your neutral. Exhaling to scoop your pelvis under, imprinting into the mat. Next time you find that scoop, we're going to press into the feet and roll our spine one bone at a time up into bridge for some hip rolls. Take an inhale at the top, exhaling, rolling down through your spine, one bone at a time, and then letting your tailbone be heavy at the bottom, finding your neutral. Exhaling to find your scoop, rolling up through your spine, inhaling at the top, glutes are engaged, ribs are down, exhaling to roll down through your spine, one bone at a time, and releasing your tailbone at the bottom. We'll do 3 more hip rolls, making sure that you're initiating the roll with the scoop of the pelvis, and then rolling down. We're inhaling at the bottom and inhaling at the top, and then exhaling as we roll up and exhaling as we roll down. Staying relaxed through our shoulders, through our face, taking one more here. And then we'll end in neutral, tailbone is heavy. You're going to grab your band if you have one, or weights if you have those. Regardless, you're taking both hands towards the ceiling. Fists are about shoulder width apart. We're just going to start by reaching our hands back behind our head. We're not letting our arms rest at the top. We're just hovering above the ground and then bringing our arms back up towards the ceiling. If you're using a band, the band is tight between your hands, so there's not too much slack. And your hands are over your shoulders. As we reach our hands back, we're thinking about knitting our ribs together. So you're keeping your ribs in the same place. As you reach your hands back, your ribs might want to splay, but you're keeping them pulled down and really slowing down this movement, being really intentional here. Just 3 more. Spine is staying in neutral, ribs are staying down. Arms are just coming to a hover above the ground. And then you'll bring your hands above your shoulders and you're going to open your elbows. So your elbows come down towards the ground. You're pulling the band apart and then you're bringing your fists back to center. So opening your elbows, keeping those elbows bent. When your elbows are on the ground, your wrists are above your elbows, and then bringing them back towards the ceiling. If you need to adjust the band, go for it. Pulling out, band comes closer to chest, and then band comes towards the ceiling. We're inhaling as our hands come towards the ceiling, exhaling to pull the band apart. Good. Last 2. 1. And then we'll meet with our elbows on the ground. So we're pulling the band. And then we're going to make a headband. So we're bringing the band towards our forehead, keeping our elbows on the ground, and then rotating. Band comes to the hips and alternating here, bringing the band towards the forehead and then bringing the band toward the hips. Elbows stay on the ground. We're trying to keep our hands above our shoulders. So you're keeping that pull on the band. Rotating here through our shoulders. Last two. Last one. And then you'll bring your hands back to center towards the ceiling. Roll out your wrists if you need to. And we're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, find that scoop of the pelvis again. So you're imprinting your lower back towards the mat. You're going to bring your right leg to tabletop and then left leg to tabletop. So both legs are on tabletop. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to find your ab curl, bringing your band towards your shins as you curl up. And then inhale, reaching the band back behind your head. Exhale to reach the band towards your shins, curling up. Inhale, reaching the band behind your head. Just 4 more here. So you're finding a knot of your chin, knot of your ribs down. As your hands reach back, they're staying in that hover. Last 2. Last 1. Good. And then you'll bring your hands back up towards the ceiling. Can you tap both toes down towards the ground, keeping your knees bent, and then bring them back up to tabletop? Tapping both toes, hinging from the hips, back to tabletop. Arms are staying put for now. Either you stay here just tapping the toes, or you're going to add the arms. So arms come back as toes tap down, and then bring everything back to center. So we're reaching in opposition, everything back to center, keeping your core in neutral. As your arms and legs reach away from each other, your spine might want to come into extension. So really being mindful here, only going as far as you can, staying in neutral. Or with that scoop of the pelvis imprint of your lower back towards the mat. Last one here. Good. And then you'll release the band, release your legs to the ground, and take a windshield wiper, bringing your knees to one side and then the other. And then we're going to come into some bridges. So you're going to take your feet right under your knees. I like to just make sure my feet are in line with each other. Sometimes we have a tendency to feel like they're in line with each other when really like one is farther ahead than the other. So just make sure you're aligned. Shoulders are relaxed. And then when you're ready, you're going to take an exhale, lifting your hips towards the ceiling. At the top, ribs are down, glutes are on, and your hips are open. And then we're going to hinge from the hips, hovering the hips over the mat, and then exhale to lift back up. So we're inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift. The difference between this and what we were doing at the beginning is we're no longer articulating through our spine. We're keeping our spine in neutral. And we're just lifting and lowering, hinging from the hips, and then opening the hips at the top. At the top, think knees pulling away from you. Glutes on, ribs down. So we're not finding a back bend here. We're staying in neutral. Last 2. 1, we're going to meet with our hips at the top. You're going to take all your weight into your left foot. So keeping your right foot on the ground for now, weights in the left foot. Now we're going to raise our right foot to tabletop and lower it down. So we're bringing one foot to tabletop, lowering, marching on one side. Option for hands to be on the ground for some more support, or option if you want an extra challenge, bring your hands towards the ceiling, and then all the work is in your glutes. Last two, trying to keep your hips steady and level. One, keeping your right leg in tabletop, can you lower and lift just on your left leg? So we're doing a one-legged bridge. Last three, staying strong through your left glute. 2, 1, and lower it down. Whew. And you're going to take your left leg over your right thigh, find a figure 4. Maybe you leave your right foot on the ground, or maybe you pull it in towards you for a stretch through your left glute. And then we'll switch. So we'll start with both feet on the ground. Let's just start with some bridges with both feet on the ground. So take an inhale, exhale, lift your hips towards the ceiling. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Finding even weight on both feet again. Your left glute's probably a bit more tired than your right glute, but we're going to even it out now. So bring your hips up towards the ceiling. Bring all your weight into your right foot. And then you're going to lift your left leg to tabletop, lower it back down. So we're lifting and lowering the left leg, all the while keeping our hips level. So making sure that we're not dropping one way or the other. Staying strong through our right glute. Shoulders are relaxed. Again, option here to bring your hands towards the ceiling if you want an extra challenge. Last two. 1, meeting with our leg in tabletop, one-legged bridge with our right leg. So we're lowering our hips and lifting, staying strong through our right glute. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Last 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, lower the left leg down, bring the right leg across the left thigh, and either leave your left foot on the ground or hug it in towards your chest, getting a nice stretch through your right glute. Okay, and when you're ready, you'll unravel your legs. We're going to come to side lying. So you're going to come onto your right side. You'll rest your head either in your hand or on your arm, whatever feels good for you. And we're going to take our legs straight. I'm going to rest on my head today, but making sure your head is in line with your hips, in line with your feet, so you're in one straight line. Good. And option to have your hand on the ground to start. Let's try that. If you want, you can bring your hand to your hip. It's a little bit more core work. So you're going to exhale to lift the top leg, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Good. Making sure that your left hip isn't hiking up towards your ribs as you lift. Shoulders are open, collarbone long. Last 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to bring your top leg over in front of your bottom leg and then make a rainbow tapping behind your bottom leg. So we're lifting up and over our bottom leg, tapping in front and then behind. I find here when you tap behind, it's hard to stay on your side. Your body wants to fall over. Your core is keeping you stable. It's okay if you don't tap the ground completely, but you're moving towards tapping in front and tapping behind. Last two. 1. Good. And then you'll rest your top leg on top of your bottom leg. Find an external rotation. So your kneecap is going to turn towards the ceiling. Pointing your top toe, you're going to trace your bottom leg up to your knee. So you'll end up in a triangle. You're in external rotation, your top leg's making a triangle, and then you're going to extend your top leg towards the ceiling, flex your foot, lower it down. Again, you'll point your toes, trace your leg, end up in a triangle, extend, straighten your knee towards the ceiling, flex your foot, lower it down. Keeping that external rotation here. 2 more. 1. And then we're going to switch directions. So you're lifting your foot up, finding your knee, tracing it back down. Lifting up, finding your knee, tracing back down. Get that nice stretch as you reach your leg towards the ceiling. Find your knee with your foot, trace it back down. 2 more. Last one. Good, and release. And then when you're ready, you'll push yourself up and we'll switch to the other side. Finding your left side body. Again, you can be on your hand. You can rest all the way down on your arm, up to you. And then you'll find a straight line. So feet are in line with hips, in line with head. Sometimes it feels like we're in line, but we're not. So just take a second. And then you're going to pull your top hip away from your ribs. Good. Either hand is on the ground or on your hip or towards the ceiling on the ground. A little more accessible to the ceiling is a little bit more work, or essentially if your top hand's not on the ground, it's a bit more work for your core. So up to you. We're just lifting and lowering the top leg. Inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift. Shoulders are open. We're trying to stay on our side. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Last 2. 1. And then we're going to make that rainbow. So you're going to tap your toe in front of your bottom foot and then tap behind. Making a rainbow over the bottom foot, challenging our balance as we bring our top leg forward and then backwards. A little bit more challenging than just lifting it straight up and down. Again, you have the option here to bring your hand to your hips or to the ceiling. Maybe try it, see how it goes. Last 2. 1. And then you'll rest your top leg on top of your bottom leg. Find that external rotation. So kneecap turns towards the ceiling from your hip. Your whole leg is opening externally. And then you're going to point your top toe, trace your bottom leg to your knee. You'll end up in this triangle. Straighten your knee towards the ceiling, flex your foot, lower your leg back down. Pointing your toes, bringing it to your knee, extending towards the ceiling, getting a nice stretch, and then bringing it back down with control. Last 2 here. Bringing the foot to the knee, extending towards the ceiling, flex to lower with control, and we're going to switch directions. So we're lifting our leg towards the ceiling, bringing our foot to our knee, tracing it back down. Keeping that external rotation, allowing you to get that triangle as you bring your toe to your knee. Shoulders are open. Last 2. Last one. And release it down. Nice. You'll push yourself back up. And then take a child's pose here, bringing your hips to your heels, reaching your hands forward. Take an inhale. Let your back ribs expand. Exhale through your mouth. And then when you're ready, you'll come up to all fours. So your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and we'll just do some scapula isolations to start. So you're going to release your chest towards the ground, shoulder blades pull together, elbows stay straight, and then your shoulder blades will pull away from each other, all the while your elbows are staying straight. So you're isolating through your shoulders, chest releases to the ground, and then chest pulls away from the ground. Shoulder blades pull together, shoulder blades pull apart. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Find somewhere in between those two so you're not in retraction or protraction. You're in your neutral. You're going to extend your right leg out behind you. And then we're going to just lift and lower, making a rainbow over the back of our mat. So same thing we were doing lying on our sides, moving in a different direction though. So we're bringing our toes to one corner of the mat and then up and over to the other corner, making a rainbow. Each corner of your mat has a pot of gold, and you're making a rainbow in the middle. Spine is staying in neutral, only lifting as high as you can without coming into extension, staying strong through your upper body. Head is in line with spine. Last 2. 1. And then you'll lift your right leg. So it's right behind you. And then you're going to extend your left arm out in front of you. You're in your bird dog. Hold here for a second. Find your balance. You're going to lower your hand and your leg and then lift back up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Good. 2, 1. Can you keep that hold? And then you'll bring your knee and your elbow to meet underneath you. Find a C curve with your spine. Inhale, extend in opposition. Exhale, bring the knee and elbow to meet underneath you. Inhale, extend in opposition. Last 2. 1. Good. And then you're going to come onto your left forearm. So you're opening your right hip to the side, coming onto your right fingertips, bringing your knee to your elbow, extend. Knee to elbow, extend. For 3, 2, 1. Can you extend your right arm as well? So arm and leg are both extended, bringing them to meet in the middle. Always option to keep your right hand on the ground. Last 3, 2, 1. And square off your chest. Come back onto both wrists and then bring your right knee down. Find a child's pose. And then we're going to switch sides. So you're going to come, bring your wrists under your shoulders. Your knees are under your hips, and we'll move on to the left leg. So left leg extends behind you, and then you're going to make a rainbow over the back of the mat with your left leg. Core is keeping you from shifting side to side, so the only thing moving is your left leg. Rest of your body is still. Don't forget that up, tap down, up, tap down. Head is in line with spine. It's a reminder to me too. Remembering to breathe here. Last two. Last one. And then you'll extend your left leg behind you. Extend your right arm in front of you. Find your balance here for a second, holding. And then you're going to lower your arm and leg towards the ground. Lift straight up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Keeping your head in line with your spine. Staying strong through your left arm. Last 3, 2, 1. Can you stay in that extension? Bring your elbow to your knee underneath you. Hug them towards each other. Inhale, extend them away. Exhale, find the C curve with your spine. Inhale, extend away. Last 2. 1. Good. And then you're going to come onto your right forearm. I'm just going to turn around so you can see, but you're going to come onto your right forearm. Left fingertips are on the ground or your hand, up to you. And then you're opening your left hip towards the left side of the room. Knee comes to elbow, extend. Knee to elbow, extend. Good. Last 3, 2, 1. Can you hold your leg there? Lift your arm so it's overhead, and then knee and elbow meet. Good. Always option to keep your left hand on the ground. Last 3, 2, 1. And then you'll lower your hand to the ground. Come onto your right hand. Square your chest off to the mat. Lower your left leg down. Take a child's pose. Let your head be heavy. Bringing your hands to one side. Maybe taking the right hand on top of the left, finding a nice stretch through your right side body. Coming back through center, moving to the right, left hand over right hand. And then you'll come back to center, push yourself up. And that's all for today. Hope you feel good.